If you want to learn how to consistently hit long putts, we say learn from the best. And in my book, he's 2001 world champion Cam Todd. Cam, thanks for spending some time with us.
You're welcome. How you doing, Brian?
Good, thanks. So, first of all, tell me your philosophy behind putting. I mean, how important is putting to winning disc golf?
Well, putting is probably I'd say the most important fundamental to disc golf. It probably takes it's probably about 60% of the game, actually. You can always be a good driver and play well, but you can be a bad driver and play well with putting. So
fair enough. So when you step up to make a putt, what's going through your head? Tell me about the mental aspect of putting.
Well, if I'm putting correctly, then nothing's going through my head. But if I'm a little off my game, then anything can be going through my head. I think that's the key, is to just be able to step up and have nothing in your head. As soon as you approach your lie, you should have already thought about anything that could happen, will happen, should happen. If you're going to think about it then. But when you step up, you should be done. You should know what you're going to do, you should have the task at hand, and you should be ready to perform it.
So are you saying then that you're actually thinking about your putt before you even get to your lie?
Yes. Probably as soon as it touches the ground, I'm starting to think about what I have to do, maybe where it's at. Sometimes you don't know, so you don't want to get too into it because you go up there and it's completely different, but you have to be willing to accept that also if you're going to start thinking about it early.
So help me to understand this. You say you think about nothing. Then do you look at something? Are you looking at a particular spot on the target, or you just...
Yeah, everything comes into play. There's probably 100 things you could go through, but when it comes down to it, the blank feeling, the blank stare and the nothingness through your head puts your body on track, and it has that automatic repetition that you've practiced at home. It allows it to come out more naturally. And as far as looking at something, my object is the pole. I stare at the pole. I try to not have anything in my head. The only thing in my head is pretty much a feeling. It's all execution. So you want to have that feeling to where it's natural when you step up.
So what you're trying to tap into then are those natural muscle memories, because you've made that putt, regardless of where it's from,
right,
100, 1,000 times. So you're trying to clear your head and let your body do what it knows how to do.
Precisely.
Kind of like that. So you've been playing a long time now, Cam. Is there anything that's changed in your putting game from when you first started until you won your world championship?
The only thing that's changed in my game is getting better at it. For some reason, I've stuck with the same form since day one. I've practiced it, and I don't know if it's the correct one or it's just I've done it so much in the time that I have practiced, but I have stayed with the same form the whole time.
So when you were first gearing up to become a champion, what was your routine?
My routine was pretty much go to work, go play disc golf after work about 5:30, come home at about 8:30, and then putt until about 12 or 1:30. And then I was just so addicted to it, I couldn't stop practicing. I thought about it every time I wasn't around it. I was just eager to always go out and practice.
So you would actually spend 3, 4, even 5 hours every night just putting?
For the first year and a half or two that I played, yes, definitely.
Wow, that's some serious dedication.
Well, I guess I've always been like that at every sport or everything I've done. I mean, it's like my dad said, if you're not going to do it all the way, it's really not worth doing. And it's so simple, but it's a true saying.
So Cam, we talked about your putting practice when you were just getting started and you were really building your disc golf skills. So what is your practice routine now?
Well, my practice routine now is pretty much, I'm a stickler for the 35 footers. I stand at about 35 and I try to get repetition as much as possible. Sometimes you don't have 20 discs to do repetition, so you can get someone to stand at the basket and send them back to you, and you can get a good repetition workout that way, or you can just get you 20 putters, and it's really good for the game.
And is there a certain number of putts or a certain time length you will spend doing that?
if you get a little tired and you think you've putted enough, you probably need to put a little bit more. And then after you've done that, you're probably good to go. And if you're a real fanatic, you could probably go a little bit more. There's never enough. You know, if you've got the time, there's no better way to spend it than on what you love and what you want to be good at. As far as on play, I do have a routine. Like I said, I'm already thinking about my putt, and by the time I get up to it, when I mark my lie, I'm done thinking. I step back, I get up to it, I look, I do my little bounce, and I just pop. And that's actually a little longer than my routine.
I would say that was almost slow motion compared to your normal routine.
Right. But another thing I have in my routine is the Birdie Bag. The Birdie Bag has been one of the greatest things I've found. But if you don't have one of those, a little bit of dirt or dust, it always gives you the exact same feel. No matter what climate, no matter what condition, every time that you can dry your disc off and put a little Birdie Bag or dirt on there, it's going to be the exact same feel, exact same texture every time. And then, like I said, usually that comes first. Then I come up, mark my mini, set back, know what I have to do my bounce, and just pop.
Okay, tell me about your disc. Is this your putter? Is this what you prefer to use?
Yeah, it's an ABR Big Bead. I like them because it's stiff and it tends to give you a lot more float than other discs.
And tell me about the grip you use. Is there anything special?
I'm using a very relaxed grip. I just let my hand loosen up, stick it in there, and then close my hand naturally, and then it forms a pretty natural grip. The only thing I do different is stick the knuckle line in the bead, and that pretty much gives you a better guiding tool.
Now, what about how hard are you gripping it?
Not very hard at all. You could probably pull it out as I'm going to putt.
Okay. Now, you've actually been working on a putting video this year, right?
Yes, I have.
And what's the status on that? Where can we find it?
Soon you'll be able to check it out on snapplastic.com.
And do you have an idea yet on the release date for that?
Hopefully after the first of the year.
All right, sweet. He's been called the best putter on the planet. 2001 World Champ Cameron Todd, thanks again for your time.
Right on. Thanks, Brian.
And get out and practice your putting.